Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Hope you're all doing well. Look, before getting into this video, if you are a new viewer or a returning viewer to this channel and you haven't done so already, please make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribing really shows all your support for the content that I do, and it's much appreciated as well. Doesn't cost anything at all, and it's absolutely free. And help us to get to that 3K subscriber mark. We want to get there real soon. And also don't forget to give this video a like. Make sure you click the thumbs up button on the video and click the bell so you are notified for all your New Zealand Warriors content in terms of videos or live streams on the channel next. Now, I'm going to go through my top 5 New Zealand Warriors players to watch in the 2025 season. So this could be a established first grader or a non-established first grader, or some juniors, younger players to watch this year. So we'll start off with the first player on my list. I've gone with Luke Metcalf. Now, Luke Metcalf for me is a great talent. He's very young. Look, unfortunately, he has not been able to establish himself into the first grade side more regularly, and that's down to injuries. Now, it's such a shame to be saying this about Luke Metcalf, because since he joined the club, look, in 2023 we saw glimpses of it, in the games we played. The real talent on show. We saw it in the preseason trial against the Tigers as well. And it hasn't quite really gone his way. It really hasn't. So, look, I can see the potential in him. A lot of Warriors fans can see the potential in him. I saw what he did in his junior career. I saw some of the highlights in New South Wales Cup as well when he was playing New South Wales Cup. Albeit I know it's a different level to NRL, but when he was in the NRL side, look, I didn't see him have many bad games for us. In the small glimpses that we had of him in the first grade team altogether. So, look, at the back end of last year, when he came back from that injury, which unfortunately, again, I think it was round 2 against the Newcastle Knights, or it was round 3, I can't remember, correct me in the comments, but it was at Go Media Mount Stadium. It was a game I attended. I was there to watch him live, and he came off the field with an injury. It was so sad, and my heart broke, when that happened, because I thought last year was going to be the year he got over that injury hump, and he could go on and play more consistent games throughout the season. But it was, it was a thing that I think the Warriors felt the impact that he was not there. When he was on the side, the team went downhill. I feel like it went downhill from there on. Our halves were consistently changing. We had Johnson, Tamari Martin. We had, a change of spine each week. We had a different fullback each week. It was just not consistent, the combinations throughout the season. So, look, I put up a post on Instagram, on the Instagram page, Warriors NRL Fanatics. Go and give that a follow, where I feel like this is going to be a big season for Luke Metcalf. And look, I hope I'm not putting the mockers on him. I hope I'm not putting the curse on him here. Hope I'm not putting the juju on him here. But I feel like if he can get a fully fit injury run this year, we will see the best of Luke Metcalf in the Warriors first grade side each week. I really do. And when he does show that potential, this is going to really help the squad moving forward in terms of getting results on the field each week and getting consistency that we need going into this year in terms of being a finals team in 2025. So, Luke Metcalf for me is a player to look out for in this season, because I feel like this is it. This is going to be the breakthrough year that Luke Metcalf pulls through and get the Warriors to be, a more consistent showing. But like I say, also, it's all going to depend on who else's halves pairing is. Is it going to be Tamari Martin? Is it going to be Chanel Aristotavita? Is it going to be Tana Boyd? There's so many question marks this season in terms of what the Warriors halves are going to look like. What's the outside backs pairing going to be, and who's going to be the fullback? There's so many questions that I probably couldn't answer in this whole video altogether, or in another video that I will probably do, talking about the squad as a whole. But yeah, look out for Luke Metcalf for me. Look, I feel like this could be it. This could be the year. If he stays fully fit, then he will be able to have a big one in this season. Another player also that I personally feel that is a one to look out for, and yeah, it's Demitri Vui-Muang. Now, Demitri Vui-Muang is formerly known as Demitri Sufakula. Hasn't really quite had that breakthrough year yet. Now, there for me is a potential for him this season to do so. He showed a really impressive debut for the club in the second row in that 48-12 pre-season challenge win over the Tigers at Go Media Mount Smart Stadium last year in February, and was also used in the final trial against the Melbourne Storm in Christchurch a week later. So in those pre-season showings, I thought he was particularly very good. I thought he was very good for what he produced on the field. Now, he also had very good, strong showings in the New South Wales Cup side, and then he was selected to make his NRL debut, Warrior 280 in the 9th round clash against the Roosters. Now, that game was in Sydney, I think it was, in Sydney, and he had a 19-minute stint off the bench. And then he played against the Penrith Panthers, where 23 minutes off the bench there. That was at Magic Round, where he made 34 metres and 4 runs and 3 tackle breaks and offloads and 20 tackles without a miss there. So, and then he also backed it up with a third appearance in the round 13 clash against the Broncos in Napier. And then since that game, we didn't see the rest of Demitri. He had a season-ending ACL setback, which was a real shame, because he was just starting to find his groove in first grade and starting to get some appearances put together. He actually did make 12 New South Wales Cup appearances that year, and he scored 4 tries with averaging 93 metres and 26 tackles a game, with 5 line breaks and 38 tackle breaks as well. And yeah, just looking at it, yep, weighs 104 kilos as well, and he's only aged 20 years old as well. So, you know, like I say, he's still very young. He's still got plenty of time, to make that big impact and make that big impression. And I think this year could be the year we might be able to see more of him more frequently if he can stay fully fit this season as well. So, yeah, I reckon, I don't think he'll play in round 1. I don't think he'll get a spot in the round 1 team over Las Vegas in America, but I think there's a potential where we see him in the side throughout this season as a whole there. Another player to look out for, and this one, a lot of people may not know him, but we've just recently signed him last year, is Samuel Healey. Now, I had to do a bit of research on Samuel Healey when we first announced the signing. I wasn't too sure who he was. Didn't know much about him. Haven't seen his game, but I watched a bit of highlights on YouTube. I watched some of the New South Wales Cup games in which he appeared for, which is the Newtown Jets, the feeder club to the Cronulla Southern Sharks. And he made a big impression in 2023, actually. He was very strong. He is a hooker. He played 38 games for that Newtown Jets side. His father is actually a Sharks great. And I think he was ranked 5th for the most games for the club with 222. So this is his family relations there with rugby league background. So he's got a bit of family background there with rugby league. Sam was actually born in England. So he's born in Pontefract. Apologies if I say that wrong. But he was born in England. And his father actually played for the Castleford Tigers in the Super League from 2001 to 2003. Now, look, for me, he's a very dynamic, fast hooker. And he's a player to watch this season. And, he finished the season with 8 tries last year and averaged 56 metres, 23 tackles a game, 63 tackle breaks, 13 line breaks, 4 try assists, and 22 offloads. So, look, if you haven't already, go and check him out. Go and watch his highlights on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description, in the YouTube description down below. But go and check out his highlights and go and look at some of the back of the New South Wales Cup games that he played for the Newtown Jets last year, because he was particularly very, very instrumental in that Jets side's run to the grand final and winning that premiership last year. Now, looking at it from my point of view, I feel as though that Sam Healey is going to become that second option for the Warriors hooker spot this season. Now, I know people will say Freddie Lussick. Freddie Lussick has been at the club for quite a while, but I feel like Freddie Lussick is going to be under a bit of cosh here, because if Sam Healey has a strong performance, a strong showing in the New South Wales Cup games this year, the coaching staff are going to have a look at that, that team, and if he's playing well, he is going to suddenly get an appearance for the Warriors first grade side. I think he will get a debut at some stage this year. I don't know when it will be, but I feel like it will definitely come, because there will be injuries, and we know Wade Egan's history with injuries, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but this is again a worry for Wade Egan this year, is his injury history and, head knocks and, getting his body in all sorts of places. We know what Wade Egan's like. He always loves to do that hard work, so wouldn't be surprised if you see Sam Healey potentially be a debut for him in this year in some of the games, and come off the bench and be that 14 sort of role, and or maybe a potential starting debut at some point this year. So I reckon he's putting the pressure on Freddie Lussick for that 14 spot. Obviously got Chanel Aristavia as well, another player that could be potentially putting his mark on a 14 spot off the bench as well. But yeah, look, for me, if you look at what Sam Healey is, very talented, very quick, elusive player. He's defensively strong as well, as you can tell from all the stats that I've read. He's pretty good in attack as well. 13 line breaks is, brilliant. It's brilliant stuff. 13 line breaks for him as well. I know it's New South Wales Cup. Look, it's totally different, but still, like I said there, it's a strong showing, right? It's a strong showing for what he's got. He's looking at his age, 22 years old, 89 kilograms of what he weighs. Date of birth, 30th of July 2002. He's 186 centimeters as well. Like Sharks career and Harold Matthews under 17s competition 2018. He then progressed to the SG World Cup under 19s and then Jersey Flag under 21s en route to the New South Wales Cup last year. So he's played a few games in all the juniors as well, in terms of under 17s, under 19s, and under 21s. So if you've gone through all those grades and then get into New South Wales Cup, then there must be a big thing about him, But like I say, 22 years old, very young as well. So not too young, but young. Like, he's not old. He's not old there. So yeah, look out for him this year. Another player I got on my players to watch for the New Zealand Warriors this season is Lea Halima. Now, Lea Halima made his NRL debut last season in that clash against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now, he was the 5th NRL debutant to graduate, and this is a big one, from the One New Zealand Warriors development system. Now, I have been so big on the juniors, right? I really am so big on the juniors. I'm big about developing them and getting them to first grade for the future. And this was a big one last year to see Lea, who was 18 years old, make his debut against the Bulldogs in Sydney. And look, in that game, I feel like he had a solid debut. It was a really strong impression. Now, going into that game, throughout last year, he actually did have a few injuries. It was a really injury-depleted 2024 season for him. Now, he had 3 tries and 7 New South Wales Cup appearances, which explains why he didn't play a lot of New South Wales Cup. He averaged 144 metres and he made 34 tackle breaks and 13 against the Dragons. And then he was included for the NRL squad before then making his debut against the Bulldogs. So, look, from what I saw when he was playing this World Cup, I felt like he was due for a first grade debut at some stage, and it happened last year, which was crazy in itself. And looking at his weight, 100 kilograms of weight there. He is a big fella. He's a big fella. His height is 185 centimeters, and he's born on the 21st of September 2005 there. So I think if you look at our forward pack, and I think we've got a lot of depth at the moment. We've got Jacob Laban. Obviously, we've got a few strong forward pack players from the juniors through our senior side as well. So I feel like that this year, if he can have a few strong games, then he could be a potential to be on the bench each week. Probably not starting in my opinion, but probably off the bench. But obviously, like I say there, it all depends on how fit he can stay, because like I say with a lot of players, if you stay fit and healthy, it gives you a good chance of making more appearances in the first grade side altogether. But it also depends on form, how he goes in the New South Wales Cup side, because at the start of this season probably can see a bit more of him playing New South Wales Cup before we can see him back in the first grade side again more regularly. But we want to see these young players play first grade more often, but we also want to be careful of rushing them into first grade each week, because we don't want to put that pressure on these young players each week and think, oh man, they've got to be in the side each week. Obviously we want that to happen, but we want to really develop them very well. We want to make sure we get their development right before we put the pressure on them each week, to be in the first grade side, which I feel like he will be in the first grade side, but I feel like it'll be like a couple of games near and end this season. So yeah, look out for Lea Halima. Look, a lot of people would have known who he was. Some people who aren't regular watchers of Warriors games or watch any of the Warriors New South Wales Cup games or junior Warriors games, but they saw what he could do against the Bulldogs, and he was very strong in that one against the Dogs as a whole there. So that's my other player to watch. Now, last player to watch this season for me, and that is going to be Leiataua. Now, Leiataua, man, what an exceptional talent he is. He, unfortunately, last year didn't quite get the games that we thought he would get. He only had 7 appearances last year. Well, actually, no, he had 7 appearances. Actually, 7 appearances in general so far in the Warriors side. I'll correct myself there, and he's had 3 tries. And he actually did play 6 times for us last year. Six games for us, and he only played for us once in 2023 in the first grade side. So it's not a lot of games to call upon for Leiataua, but just looking at it, he made his debut in 2023, 9th of June against the Canberra Raiders in round 15, which we will remember that quite well. That game was against none other than Jared Croker, and that was Jared Croker's last, I think it was his retirement game. So that was his last game at home in Raiders colours. And looking at his form for the New South Wales Cup side throughout 2023, it was very strong there. He had 13 appearances and he made a few individual tries as well. 2024 season, like I said, he made the he was in that New South Wales Cup side, and then he earned a call up to the NRL team against the Panthers, and he scored a try in that one against the Panthers when we upset them there. And look, in the club system, he's been in the club system since he was 14 years old. So He's been at the Warriors for, well, throughout his whole life, really, when you think about it. And he was a foundation member of the New Zealand Warriors' first SG Ball Cup side, the under-18 side in 2020, and he also played for the Dolphins as well when the Warriors were in Redcliffe, and when Redcliffe were our feeder club there. But yeah, look, last year wasn't quite the consistent game time that we would like to see from Leiataua, but I think this year is going to be a big one because this season I feel like he's got a big shout to be in the starting centre spot. With personally, I feel like it could be him and Rocco Berry for our centre spot this season. So I think keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for him. We know what we've seen from Ali Leiataua so far. We can see the promise and we can see the potential. He's a big, strong, talented outside back, and he's really hard to stop as well. When you think about it, we can see players when they try to tackle him. He's such an opposing player on the field, and brings plenty of skill as well to the table. So yeah, keep an eye out for Ali Leiataua this season. But that wraps it up, everyone. So that's my top 5 New Zealand Warriors to watch this season. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who are you looking out for? Who's your top 5 Warriors players to watch this year? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the YouTube comment section down below. Please interact. Get in that comment section down below and let me know what you think. And also don't forget, make sure you like this video. Click the thumbs up button on the video. Click that like button. Click the share button. Share the video around. It helps the channel. It helps the videos and the content. And also don't forget to click the bell so you're notified for all your Warriors content next as well. Like I say, like, share, comment. And if you are a new viewer or returning viewer and you're watching the content, it's absolutely free. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we want to try and get to 3K really soon. But thanks everyone for watching. And we will see you all in the next video.